The first tests of the GeForce RTX 4080 at 16GB showed a huge gap from the GeForce RTX 3090Ti in 3D mark. There is no doubt that the new line of graphics chips based on the Ada Lovelace architecture will not be the same as insiders told us. After the official preliminary tests of the GeForce RTX 4090 presented at the time of the announcement, there is no doubt that the next generation flagship will not be able to offer a twofold increase in performance compared to the GeForce RTX 4090 currently on sale. From time to time, leaks are leaked to the press. So yesterday, you could see tests in which the gap reaches 60%. If you do not take into account the unfulfilled expectations, then everything is pretty good, but many fans shake their heads in disappointment, because they expected something different. In fact, this is not the only unpleasant surprise that Uncle Wong has prepared for enthusiasts in 2022. Note that it is for enthusiasts, because ordinary gamers will not be able to buy any of the video cards that will hit the shelves next week. As you may have heard, it was decided not only to significantly raise prices for GeForce RTX 4080 series graphics chips, but also to release two different versions at once. The first one is 16GB based on 256-bit bus, the second one is 12GB based on 192-bit bus. For the first in American retail will ask from $1,199, for the second from $899. European price tags are even harsher, because they offer to pay almost €1,500 for the GeForce RTX 4080 at 16GB and €1,100 for the GeForce RTX 4080 at 12GB version. It would be logical to assume that both video cards will be able to demonstrate impressive performance. Well, today the first tests of the GeForce RTX 4080 at 16GB were leaked to the press, which we will talk about below. Note that the tests were conducted using the Ryzen 7 5800x3D processor, and for some unknown reason, the AIDA 64 GB benchmark's performance reached 53.5 TFLOPS, despite the fact that 49 TFLOPS were officially announced. This may indicate the use of overclocking, but in this case, the experts decided not to torment themselves with questions, having studied the proposed results. GeForce RTX 4080 at 16GB faster than GeForce RTX 3090Ti in time spy extreme by 20%, 13,977 points. GeForce RTX 4080 at 16GB faster than GeForce RTX 3090Ti in fire strike ultra by 29%, 17,465 points. GeForce RTX 4080 at 16GB faster than GeForce RTX 3090Ti in Port Royal, DXR, by 16%, 17,607 points. According to the journalist who prepared the original material, this is an unofficial comparison, because he has a very heavily overclocked GeForce RTX 3090Ti Supreme-X video card on his computer. This means that the reference model will show different indicators, and as a result, the gap between graphics chips will only increase. Soon, tests from major technology resources will appear on the sites, which will allow you to get a full impression of the new generation, but in the meantime, there are a lot of questions for Nvidia. With prices, everything is very bad, because in fact the GeForce RTX 4080 at 12GB took the place of the GeForce RTX 3070, but it went up almost 2 times. How successful such a graphics chip will be is a big question, but even the older version, which we wrote about above, raises questions. For example, the commercially available GeForce RTX 3080 has several different versions. 10GB on the 320-bit bus and 12GB on the 384-bit bus. If we leave the newer and upgraded version alone, then the GeForce RTX 3080 that went on sale had a bandwidth of 760GB per second. The new GeForce RTX 4080 at 16GB is based on a 256-bit bus and has received video memory at a speed of 22.5 gigabits per second. As a result, The bandwidth of the graphics chip for €1,500 will be equal to 720 GB per second. But not without pleasant surprises. For example, compared to the GeForce RTX 3080 at 12 GB, the new GeForce RTX 4080 at 16 GB boasts reduced power consumption by 30 watts, 350 watts versus 320 watts. It is extremely difficult to assume how much such a video card will be in demand. Theoretically, it will replace the GeForce RTX 3090 Ti, but it will be 20% faster. Moreover, there are new technologies inside the novelty, and thanks to the support of DLSS 3.0, it will be possible to increase the gap due to software components. And everything would be fine, but this approach will not affect the prices in stores in any way, which means that ordinary gamers are again in the red.